The Columbus City Council meeting for March 4th, 2024 will now come to order. In compliance with the Open Meeting Act, a current copy of this act is posted in this meeting room. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Bulkley.
Here.
Allercone.
Here.
Barr.
Here.
Freshour.
Here.
Hemer.
Here.
Jablonski.
Here.
Lopez.
Here.
Roth.
Here.
Schilling.
Here.
Mayor Bulkley, the roll has been called.
Thank you. Mr. Council President.
Thank you. Our Father, thank you for the opportunity to serve our fellow citizens. Please give us your wisdom and guidance to make the proper decisions entrusted to this governmental body. May our conduct show respect, honor, and courtesy to each other as to well of all of our citizens. Amen.
Whoops.
Short version.
Oh, come on.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, and welcome everyone to tonight's council meeting. If at any time during our meeting, anyone in our audience would like to come forward and address anything on our agenda, we'd ask that you please do so. Come to the podium, give your name, your address, and we'd ask that you keep your comments to 5 minutes or less. With that, we'll move on to the consent agenda.
Item 4, consent agenda. The following items will be considered in routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless the City Council member or citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed from consent status and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Item 4A, minutes of the February 20th, 2024 City Council meeting. Item 4B, minutes of the February 20th, 2024 Community Development Agency meeting. Item 4C, reappointment of Jake Waka and Marty Eaton to the Employee Retirement Committee for 2-year terms. Item 4D, specifications estimate of cost in the amount of $45,700 for authorization to advertise for bids for yard waste removal for the transfer station. The specifications are on file in the Public Works Department. Item 4E, resolution number R24-20, approving the temporary drainage easement agreement with Meadow Ridge Properties LLC. Item 4F, resolution number R24-21, approving the permanent drainage easement agreement with Kenneth E. Robinson and Haney Robinson. Item 4G, resolution number R24-22, approving the permanent utility easement agreement with Columbus Sales Pavilion Incorporated. Item 4H, resolution number R24-23, approving a 1-year extension to the interlocal agreement with Platte County for prosecution services and the amount of $48,744. Item 4I, resolution number R24-24, authorizing the city to apply for and administer a rural business development grant from the United States Department of Agriculture. And item 4J, payroll and bills on file. Mr. Mayor and council members, is there anything you would like removed from consent status?
Mr. Mayor, move that the items on the consent agenda be approved as presented.
Second. I have a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Brings us up to special presentations. This evening, I have a proclamation to read. We have the group here in attendance tonight. There's quite a few of them, and I visited with them. We will read the proclamation and acknowledge them, and then after our meeting, I will get with them for some pictures. This is a proclamation for National Athletic Training Month. Whereas National Athletic Training Month is in March, and the official theme of 2024 is From Head to Toe. And whereas athletic trainers have a long history of providing quality health care for our area athletes, and whereas athletic trainers provide prevention of injuries, recognition, evaluation, and aggressive treatment, rehabilitation, care, health care administration, education guidance, and compassionate care for all. And whereas leading organizations concerned with athletic training and health care have joined together in a common desire to raise public awareness of the importance of athletic training profession and to emphasize the importance of quality health care within the aforementioned setting. And whereas such an effort will improve health care for athletes and those engaged in physical activity and promote athletic training as athletic trainers as health professionals. Now, therefore, I, James B. Bulkley, the Mayor of the City of Columbus, do hereby declare the month of March 2024 as National Athletic Training Month in Columbus, Nebraska, and urge our residents to express their appreciation for athletic trainers and learn more about the importance of athletic training. I can personally speak to the importance of what they do for the students at our local high schools. I have a couple of grandkids that have had the benefit of training with them and having care given to them by them. So I think it's wonderful that we have their expertise available to us in our community. If they would stand to be recognized, I would appreciate it, and we would give them a round of applause. All right, we'll move on to we'll move on to reports of city offices, an update.
Item 9A, update on the Nebraska Department of Transportation 23rd Street Reconstruction Project. City Engineer Rick Bogus.
Well, it's that time of year again, so construction season is starting. There's been some stuff going on throughout winter anyway, doing some things today. They started out on East 6th Avenue to start to put in the crossover things that they need to do. Just a reminder, at 23rd and East 6th Avenue, that intersection needs to be reconstructed. So they're kind of doing that in quarters. So there'll be the crossover should start on March 6th, meaning head-to-head like was last year around that intersection. And they'll construct it kind of in quarters. So the intersection will always, of Lost Creek Park, East 6th Avenue will always be open. There'll be some tight turns in there, obviously, at occasion, but it'll always be open. So that's their plan for that. Then after that, they plan on starting the crossover work for segment 2. So segment 2, again, is 23rd Street, 16th Avenue to 26th Avenue. So that too, like last year, will be a head-to-head. They'll start construction on the north side, the westbound lanes. So you'll be traveling on the south side, the eastbound lanes, head-to-head. Coming about maybe in July, August, they'll switch over to the other side. There's a lot of underground work on this one. There's like a lot more storm sewer than there was in the last one. So there's a lot of work on it, but that's kind of their plan right now, is to switch over in that time period. Then they're, like last year, end of November, in the first part of December, they would have all 4 lanes open. So it'll be very similar to last year, but obviously in tighter quarters here. There's a lot of businesses in that segment. It's a shorter segment, but there's a lot of businesses there. The NDOT has done their social media posts and their press releases. They also plan on doing a alternate truck route, because the trucks will really kind of slow things down in these one-way segments. So it's not mandatory, it's an optional alternate route. Of course, that really doesn't come into play until East 6th Avenue's intersection's open, because it takes you around north to Lost Creek Parkway and East 6th Avenue. So you might see it signed here, or getting it all set up for signed. But for the first 2 months, East Sixth Avenue will be under construction, so after that, it'll come a little bit better play. So that's what they were doing. The contractor held, on February 26th, held a couple meetings. One of them is with the people around East Sixth Avenue, those businesses, along with industries and trucking companies in the area to let them know what's going on at the East Sixth Avenue intersection. Later on that afternoon, they had a meeting with the people in that segment 2 section, very well attended, filled the room plus here, had a lot of good conversation on that. They seemed that went pretty well for them. Just as a reminder then, the city has signs like last year of alternate routes using Lost Creek Parkway and East Sixth Avenue generally to get around the construction, so those signs are there and that's used. Also on our website, we have a map of some alternate routes to get around this segment 2 as well as provide some options to get to businesses that maybe do not have rear access in this segment. And in that same vein, the street department is setting up and placing at some intersections where we're anticipating more traffic, more truck train movement for deliveries, some no parking areas, things of that nature. So that'll be on the website. And I would say maybe in the next week or so, the street department will have that all set up. So I just wanted to give you an update on the DOT's project, and is there any questions?
Rick, I think we need to remind the folks that Sixth Avenue is not a rework. It's just that we didn't get it done the first time around because.
Oh, correct, yeah.
I think
yeah.
people will start wondering why in the heck are we going backwards?
Oh, yeah. No, it's the original concrete that's there. And the
Great.
DOT decided not to do that pending weather. They definitely didn't want to get caught in the winter with it not getting it done. And so they made the decision to delay it to this year.
Okay. Just a perception.
Rick, just a question, on the 26th Street intersection, or 26th Avenue intersection, do you know, do we go west of the intersection and quit, or do we stop east of the intersection, or do they wait to December like they did on the other intersection to decide?
Right, so originally it was to stop east of the intersection, but they made a recommendation or requested from the DOT to go through the intersection, so they'll go through it. I probably should add to that whenever possible and practical, 26th Avenue will be open as much as it can. So the removals won't be done right away, they'll skip that part. They'll have to obviously be closed and you're doing some utilities. Same thing with 18th Avenue, it's gonna be kept open as much as it can. And 23rd Avenue as well, there's some question there on some of the signals that are being so close, how we're gonna really handle that. But they'll try to keep those 18th, 23rd, and 26th Avenue intersections open as much as possible.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you, Rick. Bring us up to new business.
Item 13A, appointment of Tommy Ernst as firefighter.
Should we do all our firefighter appointments and then ask them all to come forward?
Yeah, after.
After we've done all of them? I think that would be appropriate, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Okay. Because we want to see you all up front here, but we're going to do it all at one time, okay?
Council members, with your permission, the mayor would like to submit the name of Thomas Ernst for conditional appointment to the position of firefighter, subject to successful completion of all pre-employment requirements. Per council rules, the 2-week waiting period is waived for an appointment of a paid firefighter. Mr. Ernst was certified for firefighter by the Civil Service Commission at their meeting held February 12, 2024. Thomas Ernst was raised in Columbus and currently resides here. He studied biology and played football at the University of Nebraska-Kearney, then continued on to Nebraska Wesleyan, where he participated on the swim team and received his biology degree. Thomas is nationally registered as an EMT and has his Nebraska State EMT license. He is excited to give back to the community that has done so much for him. Council members, I'll entertain a motion for this appointment.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 13B, appointment of Patricia Hawthorne as a firefighter.
Once again, council, with your permission, the mayor would like to submit the name of Patricia Hawthorne for conditional appointment to the position of firefighter, subject to successful completion of all pre-employment requirements. Per council rules, the 2-week waiting period is waived for an appointment of a paid firefighter. Ms. Hawthorne was certified for the firefighter by the Civil Service Commission at their meeting held February 12, 2024. Patricia Hawthorne resides in Columbus, Nebraska, where she attended the Columbus Fire Department Academy in September 2018 and earned her Firefighter 1 and Hazmat Operations Certificate. She joined the Columbus Volunteer Fire Department in February 2019 and has since obtained Emergency Medical Technician in October 2019 and Firefighter 2 and Swiftwater Rescue Technician certification in 2020. I'd entertain a motion for this appointment.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Whoops, got ahead of myself. Okay,
Item 13C, appointment of Ethan Morrow as a firefighter.
Once again, council members, with your permission, the mayor would wish to submit the name of Ethan Morrow for conditional appointment to the position of firefighter, subject to successful completion of all pre-employment requirements. Per council rules, the 2-week waiting period is waived for an appointment of paid firefighter. Mr. Morrow was certified for firefighter by the Civil Service Commission at their meeting held February 12, 2024. Ethan Morrow is a resident of Lincoln, Nebraska. He holds both the National Registry and Nebraska EMT license, which he obtained at Southeast Community College. Ethan is deeply passionate about fire services and is very eager to begin his career here in Columbus. Councilman, I'd entertain a motion for this appointment.
So moved.
Second.
have a motion and a second to appoint. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 13D, appointment of Dustin Sainer as a firefighter.
Councilman, once again, the mayor wishes to submit the name of Dustin Sainer for conditional appointment to the position of firefighter, subject to successful completion of all pre-employment requirements. Per council rules, the 2-week waiting period is waived for an appointment of a paid firefighter. Mr. Sainer was certified for firefighter by the Civil Service Commission at their meeting held February 12, 2024. Dustin Sainer is a current resident of Humphrey, Nebraska, where he serves as a volunteer firefighter EMT. Dustin is certified EMT and holds certifications in Firefighter 1, Firefighter 2, Hazardous Material Operation. Dustin most recently worked as a water technician at BD. Council members, we entertain a motion for this appointment.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 13E, appointment of Ron Sparkman as a firefighter.
Once again, council members, the mayor wishes to submit the name of Ron Sparkman for conditional appointment to the position of firefighter, subject to successful completion of all pre-employment requirements. Per council rules, the 2-week waiting period is waived for an appointment of a paid firefighter. Mr. Sparkman was certified for firefighter by the Civil Service Commission at their meeting held February 12, 2024. Ron Sparkman is a resident of Bellevue, Nebraska. Ron is a U.S. Air Force veteran and currently serves as a volunteer with the Ralston Volunteer Fire and Rescue. Ron is a certified EMT and holds additional certifications in Firefighter 1, Firefighter 2, and Hazardous Material Operation. Ron most recently worked as a communications specialist for Air Methods in Omaha. Council members, I'd entertain a motion for this appointment.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 13F, appointment of Craig Warnick as a firefighter.
Council members, once again, the mayor wishes to submit the name of Craig Warnick for conditional appointment to the position of firefighter, subject to successful completion of all pre-employment requirements. Per council rules, the 2-week waiting period is waived for an appointment of paid firefighter. Mr. Warnick was certified for firefighter by the Civil Service Commission at their meeting held February 12, 2024. Craig Warnick is a Columbus resident. Craig has completed basic training in the National Incident Management System and is a National Registry EMT. Craig has a background in industry and has served many years with BD. Craig is looking forward to giving back to his community by serving as a firefighter for the Columbus Fire Department. Council members, I'd entertain a motion for this appointment.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 13G, appointment of Dalton Witt as a firefighter.
Council members, once again, the mayor wishes to submit the name of Dalton Witt for conditional appointment to the position of firefighter, subject to successful completion of all pre-employment requirements. Per council rules, the 2-week waiting period is waived for an appointment of paid firefighter. Mr. Witt was certified for firefighter by the Civil Service Commission at their meeting held February 12, 2024. Dalton Witt is from Elkhorn, Nebraska, and a graduate of Elkhorn High School. Dalton is a National Registry EMT and holds certification in Firefighter 1 and Hazardous Material Operation. Dalton is a current student of Metro Community College and is working toward his associate's degree in fire science and technology. Once again, council, I entertain a motion for this appointment.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. I would ask for all our recently appointed firefighters to please come forward.
You might want to ask him to introduce
I
himself.
will. I'm going to ask each one to step forward and please come up to the podium for us, please. And what I'd like you to do, and we probably should have just asked you to stand when we read your bio, but just give us your name and where you're from. We're very proud to have you here, and we want to know who you are.
Hi, I'm Craig Warnick from Columbus, Nebraska, 558 9th Avenue. Thank you for letting me serve.
Thanks, Craig.
I'm Ron Sparkman from Bellevue, Nebraska, 313 Fort Crook. Thank you for letting me have this opportunity to serve.
Thank you.
I'm Dalton Witt from Elkhorn, Nebraska. I'm excited to start my career here in Columbus. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Leslie Sanger, Humphrey, Nebraska. Excited to be part of the fire department here.
Thank you.
I'm Tommy Ernst from Columbus, Nebraska. Thank you for this opportunity to serve.
I'm Patricia Hawthorne. I live in Columbus, Nebraska, and I appreciate the opportunity to be a firefighter for Columbus.
Thank you.
I'm Ethan Morrow. I'm from Lincoln, Nebraska, and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you all. All right, go on.
Item 13H, quote from No Sweat Fencing and Decks in the amount of $41,830 for fencing around the Loop River Water Trail entrance and exit point at the ADM access site.
Mr. Mayor, I move the quote from No Sweat Fencing and Decks for fencing be accepted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the quote from No Sweat Fencing and Decks. Any discussion?
Will we be paying all of this, or will part of the,
So part of it, we got a 50% grant for the fencing from the Columbus Area Visitors Bureau, and the balance of that would come out of the city's budget.
Any other comments or questions? All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 13I, quote from Motorola Solutions and Electronic Engineering in the total amount of $33,604.57 for upgrades to the radio tower on Shady Lake Road for the police department. This is CIP number 21-1.
I move for the quote from Motorola Solutions and Electronic Engineering for radio tower upgrades be accepted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the quote from Motorola Solutions and Electronic Engineering for upgrades to the radio tower on Shady Lake Road. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 13J, quote from BD Construction Incorporated in the amount of $11,256 for water damage repair at the airport.
Move that the quote from BD Construction be approved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the quote from BD Construction. Any discussion? Yes, sir.
Do we
Councilman.
know why the pipe burst?
The insurance agent will investigate and handle subrogation.
Okay, so it may not end up on our dime after all.
It is yet to be determined, but there's a
Very good.
possibility.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 13K, plan specifications, estimate of cost in the amount of $1,348,303, and authorization to advertise for bids for an 8-place T-hanger for the airport. The plans and specifications are on file in the engineering department.
Mr. Mayor, I move the plan, specifications, estimate of cost, and authorization to advertise for bids for an 8-place T-hanger be approved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve plan specifications and estimate of costs for the T-hanger at the airport. Any discussion?
I would just like to add for the public's clarification that this is a 90% funded project by the Federal Aviation Authority.
I was
So
gonna say the same
10%.
thing. And I know that all 8 hangars are being asked for already.
Yeah, we have a waiting list.
Yeah.
That's why we're
That's
doing
great.
this project, yes.
Any other Councilwoman Freshour, you had a comment?
That's what I
That was-
wanted to
okay,
make sure.
all right.
yeah.
Any other comments? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 13L, plan specifications, estimate of cost in the amount of $75,000, and authorization to advertise for bids for the water improvements 2024. The plans and specs are on file in the engineering department.
Move that the plan, specification, estimate of cost, and authorization to advertise for bids for 2024 water improvements be approved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the plan specifications and estimate of costs and authorization for bid for the water improvement 2024. Any discussion, or would, Chuck, would you like to just give an update, or Rick, on just, you can pass the microphone
Okay.
either way, I don't care.
I guess we're passing the microphone, that's fine. So the UP is planning on doing some work over in that part of their yard. And it was, we have an old 4-inch water line that comes from the north side, south, underneath the tracks to the south side, to feed the Columbus Sales Pavilion over there. It's an older line, it's not cased, and it's basically in the way. And so the agreement that we have with UP, and all the agreements we have with UP, is if there's stuff like this in the way, it's our responsibility to relocate them. And so we found a way to do it from the south side, so we're not crossing the tracks. So cheaper. Earlier in the meeting today, you got a permit easement agreement with Columbus Sales Pavilion. So it'll be on their property in an easement to replace this line, and it'll be replaced with a 6-inch line, which meets the Department of Environment and Energy's requirements.
Very good. Any comments or questions?
I would just add that it also reduces our long-term costs because we have to pay Union Pacific for every crossing annually. So we'll be able to eliminate one of those payments.
And as you mentioned, Rick, this coincides with the easement we had in the earlier part of the agenda for the Columbus Sales Pavilion.
Correct.
Awesome. All right. Although we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Item 13M, comments from the mayor and city council members in compliance with the Open Meetings Act. No discussion may be held on this item.
Council members, any discussion or comments tonight? Yes, sir.
I think it's just a great day for the citizens of the Columbus community that we found all these firefighters that are well qualified and willing to come to Columbus to join a great fire department that we have right now. I just think it's just absolutely a great day. I'm just so happy to see all of you, and I hope you all will continue to be safe in your jobs and represent us well. Thank you.
Very good. I've got a couple of comments this evening. Anybody else have any comments this evening? First, I'd like to remind or mention to the public, you've heard or seen where we've been doing our coffee chats and trying to get the public to come in, and if they have something on their mind, giving them an opportunity to visit with council members and staff that might be available. Our attendance has been sparse. We're not sure if the time's been perfect, so we're trying to move things around. We are going to have our first one on a Saturday, this coming Saturday, 9 to 10. One of the comments we heard was, there's just not a good time. Quite honestly, 9 to 10 on Saturday may not be a good time either, but we're going to try it and see if we can get some people that want to come down and visit and talk to us about what's on their mind about city government. So that's one item. I also wanted to make the public aware of a survey that's out there right now regarding our downtown viaduct. We are in the process of trying to evaluate the needs for what we should do downtown. It's been an item that's been discussed in our community for years. We've gotten the 3 that are in existence today and are having discussions on what should we do for this 4th one in downtown Columbus. So there is a survey asking the public if they're interested in a viaduct. We want to see what the public's feeling is, and we'd love to have as much input from the public as possible. So we're going to leave the survey out there for a while because we want people to address it and give us their thoughts and give us their feedback. Finally, I wanted to make a comment that the deadline for registering for city offices ended and passed on Friday afternoon. I commend the council members to my right. All of them re-upped to run again. I also threw my hat in the ring officially to run again. There's another individual running for mayor, and there's another individual running for Ward 4. So that's how the system works, and we'll see how things come together come November. So with that, we'll move on to resolutions.
Item 14A, resolution number R24-25, approving the change order number 1 with Rutchins Construction Incorporated in the amount of $87,322.93 for revisions to the final quantities for the Lost Creek Parkway sewer from 10th Avenue to 63rd Avenue.
Mr. Mayor, I move that resolution number R24-25 be adopted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution R24-25. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye, those opposed nay. Motion passes.
Item 14B, resolution number R24-26, selecting the design, build, delivery system for artificial turf at Pawnee Park Baseball Field and designating city engineer Rick Bogus to serve as the performance criteria developer.
Mr. Mayor, I move resolution number R24-26 be adopted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution R24-26. Any discussion? I would just like to say we have a gentleman in the audience that's put a lot of time and effort into bringing this to fruition. We're not quite there yet. We got to get her done, but it's in front of us today to move it forward. And I'm not going to embarrass him, but I am going to tell the world that it was Corey Reeder that put this time and effort together. We thank you for that, Corey, and with that, we
Did an outstanding job.
we have no other comments. All those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Brings us up to ordinances on their third reading.
Item 17A, ordinance number 24-02, amending the city code to authorize selling or distribution of food, drink, and other refreshments in parks through a special event permit application.
Mr. Mayor, I move that ordinance number ordinance number 24-02 be adopted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance number R024-02. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes, meeting adjourned.
We do have a CDA meeting immediately following.
Oh, that's right, I'm sorry, yeah, we have a CDA meeting